Hello, everyone, and welcome to the June news episode of What's New in Cloud FinOps. We're on the last possible day to make this happen. And it's me, as usual, Frank Contrepois, with my great friend,
SteveO. Hello, mate.
Hello. Tons of stuff for June.
Tons of stuff, and never enough time. So exactly, we will blast through it. Let me do the noise. I've turned down the noise to the person who found it too loud.
Instances, but it's yours.
Oh, it is me, yeah. Sorry, there's so much of your news. It didn't even dawn on me that it could be mine first. So this is a piece of Azure news. The new Cobalt 200 VMs deliver 50% better performance, price performance. There is a blog about this, which is where this comes from. It is also in there's just a release note about it as well. But this is compared to the Cobalt 100 VMs. They deliver up to 50% better CPU performance, 20% higher remote storage IOPS, and 10% better remote storage throughput, and 15% higher network bandwidth. They go up to 128 vCPUs. So if you're on the 100s, go take a look if you haven't already.
I think they were also showing that they're fully, and I read the link, they are fully optimized for modern agentic AI workloads.
Of course they are. What isn't these days? But
I am not.
Yeah, me neither. Yeah. They're obviously ARM-based and designed for Linux-based AI workloads. Yeah, that's right. Agentic. Cool.
Next one is mine. So announcing Metal 48 XL and Metal 96 XL for quite a few instances. So the M8IN, M8IB, M8IDN, DB, IN, IB, IDN, and IDB instances. So what this is, so they are new instances powered by custom 6th generation Intel Xeon, which is only available on AWS. They deliver 43% better compute performance per vCPU compared to previous generation, which was not the 7, but the 6. So M6IN, M6IDN, etc., etc. And overall, you have, so the M8IN, anything I with N in the middle, delivers 600 Gbps, gigabit per second bandwidth for network. It's the highest network bandwidth among enhanced network EC2 instances. And so this is perfect for workloads such as real-time big data analytics, 5G. There are quite a few interesting things. The other thing is the M8IB or IDB or etc. All the IB stuff, they are 300 gigabit per second EBS bandwidth. So this is storage, extremely fast, related to storage. So data lake, NoSQL databases, etc., that's all for you. So that's the big thing. And they are big, okay? So they are available in the North Virginia region to start only. Next news is Amazon EC2 M9G and M9GD general purpose instances are now available. They are powered by AWS Graviton 5 processors. They are available. They're delivering the best price performance for general purpose workload on EC2.
Saying it's 25% better compute performance.
Yes, exactly.
It doesn't really talk about the price performance numbers in there, does it? I will go and look at it.
They are up 20% faster for databases, 35% faster for web application. The fact that everything is just checked against the previous generations really makes it really hard to compare between instance types.
Indeed.
But they are available in North Virginia, Ohio, Oregon, Frankfurt. You can purchase them via savings plans, on-demand spot instances, dedicated instance, or dedicated hosts. No worries. Then we have the Amazon EC2 G7 instances are now generally available. So today, AWS announced the general availability of the G7 instances accelerated by Nvidia RTX Pro 4500 Blackwell Server Edition. They deliver up to 4.6 times AI inference performance and up to twice the graphic performance compared to G6. And it's very funny because I did a data research on the pricing, and I tried to find an equivalent instance without GPUs compared to the G7s. And even if the equivalent really was an X8, which is super expensive, super memory, which had more memory, the X version, the G was 60% costlier, costed 60% more than the X, even with less memory. So GPUs are extremely expensive. We knew it. I wanted to check on numbers. And so it's roughly, in this case, it was 60% more. You can find the research on my observable public notebook, and you'll find it there.
So,
yes,
there is a 9% cost difference. So the 9 costs about 9% more, which is greater than we've generally seen in the past.
Yes, 5%.
For them, we obviously saw greater for that. But the value is about 15%. Oh, sorry, 1 second. We've got my son in. Sorry, everyone. My son just came in. He's very excited. We're going camping today.
Yoo-hoo.
So there we go. There is about a 15% better value, it says, 15% for general compute, 19% better for databases, 24% better for web applications or machine learning. I say it says, that's what my math says, having just done a quick Excel.
And the interesting bit then is how much do you use so all your CPU? How often do you consume all your CPU as usual?
Exactly.
If your load is 5%,
you've got to be at the edge of your 50% to make it make sense, because then you probably would drop down in instance price. But there we go.
Okay, next one is Amazon ECS announces a faster service auto scaling. So they've moved auto scaling now detects and responds to load changes faster with high resolution, 20 seconds metric. And so you can move, an example they show is a scale out improved from 363 seconds to 86 seconds. And so your EC2 auto scaling on ECS is now faster. Youpidoo. I think the next one is yours.
It is indeed, yeah. So the LAS V5 and the LAOS V5 storage optimized VMs based on the 5th generation AMD EPYC Turin processors are in preview. So they're designed for storage intensive workloads requiring high disk capacity, throughputs, and I/O. That's the LAS, and the LAOS V5 is suited for workloads requiring significant higher local storage capacity and performance. They range from 2 to 160 vCPUs with between 8 gig of RAM and 720. It's 8 gig of RAM and 720 gigabytes of local storage per vCPU. Wow. Both support 200 gig per second of network bandwidth and deliver 35% better average CPU performance, I assume, versus the B4. The LAS VMs offer up to 37 terabytes of local storage capacity, while the LAOS V5 VM offers up to 138 terabytes of local storage capacity. Wow. Big disks. There we go. I won't go into too much further because we've got so many to do today.
Go. There we go. Data and DB. There is only one. It's Amazon Redshift reduces manual snapshot cost for serverless and RG instances. So Redshift announced a new billing model for manual snapshot on Redshift serverless and Redshift RG instances. And with this enhancement, Redshift now meters manual snapshot storage based on unique data block stored across your snapshots rather than the total size of each individual snapshot. This is the classic that between snapshots you just save the differences and now you're just charged for the differences. Yay! And I'll just keep it there. Music again. AI. And so what do we have? We have a GPT 5.5, GPT 5.4, and Codex from OpenAI are now generally available on Bedrock. So for AI-powered software development using the same security, governance, and operational control you already use across AWS. So it's interesting because ChatGPT, GPT 5.5 is the most capable model. That's already old. There is 5.6.
Yeah, I thought, and I'll have to check, was the project we're doing, which I thought it was OpenAI ones we couldn't use, but maybe it was some Anthropic ones we couldn't use in Bedrock. We're trying to use quite low models, right? I think people make this mistake of always using high models and need to use the latest models, and what we're doing does not need that by any stretch of imagination. But I thought I've been told that we were struggling to get the OpenAI ones. Maybe it's the fact that it's the low-end ones aren't on there, but it could also be that I've got mixed up and we could use OpenAI, but we can use Anthropic. There we go. Noise again. And this is me. People may remember, I can't remember if it was last month, because we recorded last month a long time ago. We talked about the minimum billable object size for cool, cold, and archive access tiers. That has been paused. We are pausing the introduction of a minimum billable object size for the cool, cold, etc. And it will not change on July 1st, so in the past from when we got this. And no action is required from customers at the time, and there will be an update for the future. So I don't know if this is a bit like the exchange removal where people have kicked off, or whether it's a billing challenge where it's not working as it should, or whatever it might be. But yes, so that is a interesting little reversal.
It was in April. I had a look.
The announcement was.
The announcement that they would have that and to happen in July, and then they stopped it. And now I need to go back and figure out where I am supposed to.
Well, it's lucky for you, it's me next.
Good. Go.
Visibility, billing conductor, tags, cost categories, etc. The CUD analysis tool is now generally available. I won't go into too much detail because we talked about it in preview, and you've probably heard about it if you're on Google anyway, because it's been a big announcement piece. But the CUD analysis has reached general availability. The tool supports the spend-based CUD model and provides a unified interface for customers to examine both spend-based and resource-based CUDs. You can also pull that data to play with it offline via a CSV. And I believe it also can interact with the scenarios that you can create or what you can do moving forward.
Cool. Next one is AWS Cost and Usage Report 2.0 now supports Athena and Redshift integration. So AWS today announced that the CUR2 provide new integration option with Athena and Redshift. So this capability allows customer to analyze the data from their AWS CUR2 in S3 using standard SQL without building custom data warehouse solution, bringing feature parity with CUR1. I mean, that's taking a while.
It has, hasn't it?
Yes. So the CUR2 exports will be delivered in Parquet and gzip as for the chosen query engine. And they provide the metadata you need to be able to read. Because, for example, the CUR number of column change every time. So how you read it for a database, for a SQL database, will change every month, which can be a pain. Okay.
Okay, now over to Google. Focus billing data export to BigQuery, available in preview. I mean, people have found workarounds for this for ages because anyone that has Google generally does a lot of their billing stuff in BigQuery. In fact, we used to do our AWS billing in BigQuery and our Azure billing data. Well, yeah, to an extent, Azure's a pain in the butt in how it used to export. It's got a lot better. Well done, Microsoft. But now you can move it directly across and defines clear requirements for technology billing data set into that. It is for version 1.2 of Focus. You have different organizations at very different levels of what they have for Focus. I seem to remember, last I looked, Azure was like still on 1 or 1.1, but I think some people are just going to skip some versions and go straight to future ones. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how that goes.
Evolving.
Indeed.
Okay, next one is mine. So
Workloads, yeah.
AWS Cost Explorer launches intelligent cost explanation powered by Amazon Q. So now you Amazon Cost Explorer or AWS Cost Explorer now supports Analyze with Amazon Q, a new capability that delivers comprehensive and cost explanations for any report you configure in Cost Explorer. So with a single button, you can receive detailed analysis from Q developer covering your cost and top cost drivers, anomalies. And they use the exact same filters you've set up, I think, on the UI, which is the cool thing. So that's great. Next is introducing the AWS credits detail page, which for me is massive because we struggled with credits for ages. And it was on my birthday, which is brilliant too. So AWS is introducing the credit detail page for the AWS billing and cost management console with public API and Amazon Q integration, providing customer one place to see and control their credits. Managing AWS credits at scale is hard, and it's nice that they recognize it, and it took them only 15 years to solve that. As organizations grow on AWS, credit can accumulate from multiple programs. Tracking balance, consumption, controlling allocation gets very complex. And so they announced the credit detail page in AWS billing, giving customer one place to see and control every credit. So it's an article, it's a blog post. They go into details of what it looks like, what you can do with it. So if you are using credits and you're getting lost in credits, that's the page for you. Next, I think it's still mine. Yes, introducing AI-powered cost investigation for cost anomalies. Which means, again, we have AI now for cost anomalies. We have it for Cost Explorer. Now we also have it for cost anomalies. And so today we are introducing AI-powered cost investigation, a new capability in the cost anomaly detection and AWS FinOps agent. When a cost anomaly fires, we can now get a plain language root cause analysis in minutes and continue the investigation conversionally to drill into specific resources or identities, compared to past anomalies, or set the detection or follow-up analysis. So that is super cool because it was really hard, as everything that it was really hard to go to the root cause usually of anomalies. So having something that goes back to you is absolutely brilliant. Is it still me? I think it's yours. Yes, it's a Google one.
The cost billing one, yeah, cool. Sorry, I was going down. I was just going through thinking we're making really good progress, and then I just saw how many is still to come. So multi-project access to cloud billing cost views available in preview. So again, something a lot of people have done workarounds on by put into billing query into BigQuery. But now in cloud billing accounts, multi-project access to usage costs lets project owners, solution owners, developers, and other non-billing admins see cost data, all their authorized projects in a single view in the cloud billing console. So this allows you to have a kind of a hierarchy view of what's going on inside projects at the detailed project level in one place. That's as much as I'll say on the subject for now.
Okay, here we go. So next is mine, and it's AWS Custom Usage Report 2 now supports table configurations update. So CUR2 now supports update to data table configuration via the AWS Management Console or CLI. So this capability allows customers to modify their existing exports to take advantage of the new CUR2 features without having to delete or recreate their exports. So previously, customers needed to configure CUR2 with specific table settings, including export content, time granularity, column selection, export format, destination settings. And when AWS introduced new features such as additional columns and finer row-level granularity, existing export setting intentionally remained unchanged to protect ETL jobs. But now, if you wanted to adopt this new capability, you had to change the schema. It was complicated. Now, it's simpler. And I'm just going to stop there. What is next? We have...
This me, yeah. That's an interesting one, actually. Sorry if I look a bit concerned. I'm digging into it a bit more because it is very interesting. But unfortunately, sometimes, it doesn't... There isn't any more. I'm just going into the release notes to see if there's any more than we've got written down. So, for preview, before you create... This is in Google, by the way. The AI hypercompute is called preview. Before you create spot VMs, you can view the real-time availability, estimated uptime, historical preemption rate, and pricing for a specific machine type and location. This information helps you maximize the chances of successfully creating spot VMs and choose the configuration that best fits your workload and budget. That's really cool. But unfortunately, I thought, I'll dig into some more. And all I really get is use spot, which is a far more generic piece about where you should use spot. But that's really cool. I will dig into it a bit more for the next time.
Seems to be trading tools that we used to build.
Yeah. Compute Engine, public preview. Oh, this is the same thing, but released under Compute Engine as well. Yes, so that's also available on Compute Engine. Let me just see if there's any more of those. No, the next one for Google is new filters and group by options available in cloud billing reports. Google products consist of a group of SKUs, so it allows you to pull groups of SKUs, originating sources, as well as one of the things you can pull from. So that could be Google Compute Engine, or and how that can cause usage in Google's Kubernetes engine. You can see the Compute Engine pieces that are created by that. So any other interesting examples: originating and service, product. Group by product, summarize savings. So yes, you can basically see far more detailed views in additional group by options than before.
So if you were doing it in SQL or Excel, maybe it's the time to see if Google can do it for you. Nice. Next is mine. So AWS Lambda managed instances now support tag propagation for managed resources. So AWS Lambda managed instances, LMI for the friends, now supports tag propagation, enabling you to automatically apply tags to managed resources such as EC2 instances, EBS volumes, ENIs. So this helps you enforce cost allocation, service control policies, SCPs for friend, and compliance requirements across all resources provided by your capacity providers. So this is for Lambda managed instances. So when you use EC2, on managed EC2 instances, they will automatically tag things, which is really cool.
It is very cool.
And next is still mine.
Yeah.
So AWS launches Cost Explorer historical data retention for accounts in billing groups. So customer can use AWS Billing Conductor and Billing Transfer to map accounts to billing groups. Enable them to view billing data priced at the pro forma rate supplied by the payer account or bill transfer account. Previously, the billing group configuration resulted in restricted access to historical billing data priced at AWS billable rate for account mapped to billing groups. So you can retrofit, my understanding is you can retrofit previous
your billing rules in billing conductor against
in the
previous.
past.
That's how I've read it as well, yeah. I thought it was an interesting one. That's why I was kind of going, because I was reading the next one. Cool, well, that will be useful for people. I don't know a huge amount of people use Billing Conductor. I'm sure loads do. A lot of people
what is Billing Transfer? I'm not sure I have used it.
Isn't
Billing Transfer
wasn't that called something else
page.
initially? It wasn't about something about separating costs.
Billing Transfer simplify your billing operation by consolidating AWS bills from multiple organizations into a single management account.
Yeah.
The centralized,
which again, a lot of people have managed themselves, but this is a managed services.
So it's above organizations. Okay,
yes,
cool.
Yeah.
I remember the intro. I remember the name, but I was saying, whoa, what is it?
100%. Right.
Music.
Commitments. We've only got one. I think. Oh, no. I've got no. I just thought they were part of my one. No, okay. So, in fact, one thing we haven't talked about, even in instances, is there are quite a lot of instances in Azure that are going to retirement. And the problem is when they do them, there's absolutely loads. And we talked about some of them a couple of months ago, but there are a bunch going. So have a look, and you will notice that you won't be able to buy 3 years for any of them now. It's they are old, though. They are probably old. But do go have a look at that. But in the same idea, all 3-year post-paid commit use discounts for Google Cloud VMware engine purchased after 31st of 2026 will terminate on October the 15th, 2028. A 3-year CUD pricing will apply regardless of the actual term of the CUD. Additionally, 3-year prepaid CUDs are no longer available. Only 1-year prepaid CUDs are available. That's because they are removing the service.
Beginning of the end.
Yeah.
Next is introducing target coverage in Savings Plan Purchase Analyzer. So starting today, which was the 9th of June, you can specify a savings plan's coverage percentage on your on-demand spend and receive the hourly commitment needed to achieve that level directly in the Savings Plan Purchase Analyzer in the Billing and Cost Management console. So you can model different coverage scenarios, exclude expiring savings plans to upcoming renewals, run separate analysis to compare the saving impact of incremental coverage steps of 80% versus 90%. So, yeah, that's
cool.
Quite an interesting one, yes. Next is still mine. And it is AWS launches Cost Explorer Historical Data Retention for Accounting Billing Groups.
No, that was the one we just did.
I think I've done it already.
Yeah, the next one is Amazon Redshift adds reserved instance.
My bad,
pricing.
I didn't close the right tab.
Mm-hmm.
Yay! Amazon Redshift adds reserved instance upfront pricing option for RG instances. So Redshift announced the availability of all upfront and partial upfront, which is interesting, option for 1-year and 3-year reserved instances for RG instances. Reserved instances allow customers to benefit for significant saving over on-demand rates. Interesting.
Yeah, so just no upfronts before. I do think that we twigged that at the time. There's a lot. I think it was quite a while ago. Maybe I'm going mad, but I do think it was a while ago.
Well, I'm trying to figure out what is the difference between the all upfront
and partial. It used to be quite a small percentage.
At the end, it was like 1%, which was
it was even 3 early on. It wasn't like, so I had a lot of clients who did partial because you kept half the capital, but only lost 3% points, which was less than interest or whatever it was.
Yeah, it was never. It was quite very recently. You better put the money in the bank. That half that you're paying, you put it in the bank, you're going to get more in a year than you would have with a reserved instance.
Exactly.
So.
But it'd be interesting to see if that's still following. I haven't tracked that since.
Yeah, I haven't.
It's a piece of advice I used to give. Right, mine next. Global provision throughput reservations are now region agnostic in Azure, enabling a single reservation to cover global P2 deployments across multiple regions. So this allows you to optimize savings. One reservation can apply across regions, utilization and reducing stranded capacity. Increase flexibility, so you can deploy workloads where you want to, without having to worry about the region-specific reservations. And it simplifies the cost management as well, because we generally do find that. This builds in on the benefits of provision throughput, predictable performance, allocated capacity, and cost savings for high throughput workloads. And this includes a Microsoft Foundry, which has added the regional agnostic reservations for GPUs as well, or global PCs as well. Okay. I
was confused initially because when you said a PTU, I was, that's Google. And then Azure, no, it's not.
Provision throughput in this case. Right.
Pricing. There is one. It's Amazon S3 vectors reduce query charges by up to 80% for large vector indexes. So Amazon S3 vectors has reduced data process charge for queries on vectors indexes with over 10 million vectors by up to 80%. This reduction lowers costs for customers running similarly search across large-scale AI, RAG, and semantic search workloads. So you're spending the money on GPUs so we can give it back to you on storage, which, thank you, because that's not forced, but this new pricing will apply automatically with no application change required. While this change reduces costs for large indexes, we continue to recommend distributing vectors across multiple indexes for improved query performance. Is that a way to say that if you're doing a bad job, we might reduce some of your costs? But
well, it's interesting, wasn't it? I also wonder whether people aren't moving to S3 vector think. So I mean, we use at the moment for our RAGs PG vector. We will to allow us to be to allow us to be somewhat agnostic, but we are building some more in AWS for a few reasons. And I've brought it with the team. I would like to do a price comparison review against S3 Vector. We haven't done it yet because we're not using anywhere near enough where we think it will make sense, from just a quick look. But I have just said, having read this, I've just kind of said, let's just do that analysis. It shouldn't take us too long. We have pricing analysis for a month now. Let's put that same data into it and see what happens. I just think because of what we're doing specifically, where I think the data set could get very large. Well, in fact, what our thing does is it has a human loop layer where you have how to describe pending and then approved, and pending can get very large. So maybe it's just that pending goes there and approved goes into the DB, for instance, for that greater performance. And in fact, I'm just going to message them now because I've literally just had that idea.
That's excellent. Next one is Compute Optimizer. AWS Compute Optimizer now supports 32-day look back for EBS volumes and ECS service right sizing recommendation. So before it was 14 days and now it does 32 days, no additional cost. So the longer look back period allows Cost Optimizer to account for monthly utilization patterns. Thank you, because every month has at least 32 days. Has 32 days, full stop. And when generating right sizing recommendations, it can help you make better optimization decisions for your workloads, leading to better cost and performance outcomes. Yoo-hoo.
Nice. Right.
And I've left one empty there. So that's FinOps we're going to talk about. It's also because I've did a fun little thing on finops.Contrepois.com. And I don't know if you've seen it, Steve, yet.
Oh, let me go look.
And
let me see if it makes me laugh. You said it was a funny thing.
No, well, it was interesting for me to do. And it is, where can you use AI for FinOps things? And it uses a 2x2 matrix.
Yeah, I see it, yeah.
You can pick a capability, you can pick a task, and it's going to select.
So it's like using Eisenhower principles to an extent.
Yes, in this case, it is called a trust matrix from, I think it's Deloitte initially or something like this. It is a classic 2x2. It was a friend of mine who is in the legal world doing transformation, and he was using this to show this thing you can do with AI or not in the legal world. I've done this for all the capabilities and the task inside the capabilities as defined by the FinOps Foundation. I have the adapted or clearly state at the bottom that it's from the FinOps Foundation. And you can pick that. And it's going to show you how significant if things goes wrong, how verifiable the truth is, how much it costs to verify. And depending on this, and you can change them, it will decide and say, hey, you better use human judgment, or you better use AI, but then you do a full review. Or you do an AI and then you just do a sample, because that's fine, that's enough. Or you just, what is called automation to automation, is just automate. You don't care. And the numbers I have there, I've extracted, some of them are validated, but I've done very much on AI and sample, so there are quite a few things. You can move depending on your company and the context, because context is everything, you can say, in my company, this has huge consequence, so you can change the value of consequence, and it's going to change the position if needed inside that matrix. So here we go. That was just
I'm playing with it at the moment.
Good. I will show you the other bit, which, you'll tell me if it is useful for things. I went way above and work also on the RACI metrics for each one of them and stuff like that. So it's you'll tell me. But for now, I've sent
it to Rich as well to review.
Excellent. Thank you.
But yeah, like I mean, we do something. It's interesting because we do something similar across the board. I think it's also, for me, one thing people need to separate is AI and automation.
Yes.
And so our process that we work, we ask a load of questions, and it's basically only if the answer to all the questions is no, do you use AI. So, is there a way of automating this without AI? Yes. Okay, well, then we'll do it that way. AI is the last answer. And it's interesting. I was speaking to one of my team, actually, who's a head of kind of ITAM strategic accounts, phenomenally clever lady. And she was saying that it's kind of some organizations and some, there are people who have quite a backlash against AI, which I totally get and understand. We've talked about a lot of the risks and things, and actually we need to. We have a very strict kind of way of doing it, and AI is a we're not going to pretend we don't use it, but it's really thoughtful and intentional about where we do use it and the training we give people. And if we sense people are using it unintentionally or with a lack of intention, then we speak to them, training, and we haven't ever done it yet, but we'd actually consider removing access to it. People are just using it for pointless things. And there's a great study out of Queen's, Belfast, that suggests that people who are good at their jobs become like at least like 50 to 150% better at their job, right? If they use AI. People who are bad at their jobs become 70% worse.
Yes.
Or something will go down to 70%.
Yeah, it's because you use AI to confirm your thing, or to you understand everything that AI is presenting back. You eliminate all the fluff, all the stuff.
Exactly.
The interesting bit is, if I extend on what I see, is that people try to put AI wherever it might fit. While almost everything in a company works through a process and it is multi-steps. You only need to focus on where is the bottleneck. And if you're optimizing before or after the bottleneck, you're wasting totally time and resources. And if the bottleneck can be solved with AI, then you can apply everything that Steve said before. You really need to be thorough. That's useful. Otherwise, you're just optimizing something that's going to either not be used or is going to generate even more.
I always tell people, right, read the Phoenix project.
Yes.
Yeah, well, you learn the Brent, right?
There is a Phoenix project. There is also the Goal, which Phoenix project is an extension for AI from. It's absolutely gorgeous about supply chain. Gorgeous books.
Nice.
Next, move on. Yes. But let me share it and let me know how if that's useful to you.
Yeah, make sure you put it in the chat. So it's finops.frankcontrepois.com. I'm going to play around with it. You can use a similar thing across any subject, but the beauty here is what Frank's done is it has capabilities and tasks that are specific. So you can have a look at things and work it out from there. Okay.
Thank you. Next one. So I think it's mine or yours. I got lost in there.
You?
Mine. Oh, I think I said that one already. Now provide AI-powered cost investigation for cost anomalies.
Maybe we talked about it somewhere else.
That's a duplicate. Yes.
That comes to any of us.
Then AWS Compute Optimizer now support idle recommendations for 6 additional resource types. So it can Optimizer now identifies idle resources for DynamoDB provision table, Elasticache, Redis or Valkey, Amazon Memory DB, Document DB, provision and serverless, workspace, SageMaker endpoints. SageMaker endpoints being the big one.
I actually think Elasticache is a big one.
Yes, too. SageMaker endpoints is like EBS. You just forget they're there, and they just stay there, and they cost tons of money.
Well, it's I mean, one of the things that always gets me about Elasticache. This is from Devere. Gave a great talk on this 2 years ago. Yes. The 100% utilized wastage. So it depends if it's attacking that. I think that's absolutely super. Amazon Workspace is an interesting one because if you commit to them, they're always on.
Yes.
But then you commit to them. So I've always thought they've got that bit quite badly wrong.
And by the way, cache hit is one of the things it checks, which is what we want to see.
That's exactly what we want to see. Fantastic. Well done, AWS. Devere only told you 2 years ago. Progress is progress.
I mean, for credits, they waited 15 years. So I'm not going to complain of 2 years.
That's true. Yeah.
I mean, come on.
We need to investigate how good it is before we agree that that's sorted.
Yes, I know who to ask, but yes.
Yes, indeed.
Okay, next one was the AWS State of Cost Efficiency Report.
They talked about this at X.
And that was Rick with Raj and Arun.
Yeah.
And so they've done a cost efficiency metric. It was launched at reInvent 2025. We keep hearing our customers, how do I compare to my peers? Which is always the question. To answer it, we've analyzed optimization patterns across more than 71,000 anonymized opt-in customers from AWS over the most recent quarter. Savings plan coverage, the foundation, etc. So as of May 2026, the median cost efficiency score across all customers is 83. The mean is 79. a gap driven by a long tail of less optimized accounts. So you have, some which are extremely optimized and some which are not. But yeah, though there are quite interesting statistics. There are quite a few of them. There are really nice graphs. I need to make sure that I read this with all the attention it deserves. But yeah, the AWS State of Cost Efficiency Report.
It's you again.
It's me again.
And again. You've got
I've got everything. AWS FinOps agent is now available in preview. So today, AWS announces the preview of AWS FinOps agents. So first of all, they use FinOps in the name. And it's a frontier agent for FinOps practitioners and engineering team that answers cost questions, surface optimization opportunities, automatically investigate cost anomalies, and run recurring FinOps workflows on a schedule you define. So you can ask questions like a cost and generated cloud cost report for finance and engineering team, the agent surface right sizing, idle resources, savings plans recommendation from AWS Cost Optimization Hub, and Compute Optimizer. It can open Jira ticket on your behalf, and when a cost anomaly is detected, a FinOps agent can automatically investigate the root cause and can post the finding on a Slack channel, so engineering team are notified without manual triage. So
is still in preview. I've just checked because obviously the news came out a while ago.
So it's available in US East North Virginia region and includes cost and usage data covering all AWS regions except GovCloud and China.
Same as usual.
No additional charge during preview. During preview being the keynote there.
Yeah.
Next one. Programmatic savings plan management with the CLI and SDK. So it's a blog post, but it covers how to manage the complete AWS saving plan lifecycle using CLI and SDK. So all of a sudden, you might be able to create much more fast system that can react to changes, or even your forecast. If you know what's going to happen in the future, you might create your own models to optimize your savings plan strategy and to make it happen, really, not just thinking about it. So yeah, phase 1 is planning the purchase of savings plans. Phase 2, executing the purchase of savings plans. 3, continuous monitoring. And it gives you some information. I don't know how much that is completely different. The interesting bit is, what did they add in the CLI that was missing before? I'm unsure. I thought you could already do something like this. But hey, maybe that's just a case study or an explanation.
Maybe.
Next one is optimize LLM cost on Amazon Bedrock from billing attribution to operational telemetry. So as you scale your use of LLMs, a type of foundation model on Amazon Bedrock, cost increases. No way. But traditional cloud costs will only tell you how much you spent, not why. The gap between billing data and operational insight is where cost inefficiencies go undetected. So optimizing LLM costs require visibility into which developer, model, and operations drive your spend. This feels like a continuation you are now able to attribute Bedrock or the ownership to Bedrock API calls.
Yes.
And so my extension is this is a service built on top. And so they provide you with a framework. And again, it is in the blog of AWS Cloud Financial Management. The title is Optimize LLM Costs on Amazon Bedrock from Billing Attribution to Operational Telemetry. Next one is AWS WAF announces AI traffic monetization. A new bot control capability that lets you price, meter, and collect payment from AI bots and agents accessing your content and APIs. As AI agents increasingly support autonomous payment for the content and API they consume, AWS WAF now let content owners and publishers set a price for that access, accept payment through third-party providers, and grant scoped access directly at the edge.
You had this in Misc and Silly. I was getting a bit confused as to where you'd gone.
My bad.
No, that's fine. But yeah, which now makes sense. That explains your confused face, because I don't think you were like, why does this fit in? But it's because I think you just found this one interesting.
Yes. And by the way, what was very interesting for me, good fanatic of HTTP, is that they finally used the HTTP 402 payment required, which was a code that no one ever used. Okay, you have 404 that everyone knows, page not found. There was 402 was there, but no one was using it. Anyway, so yes, that was Misk and Silly. So sorry, listeners, I missed the sound.
Well, it's okay. I've got one anyway back in FinOps General, which maybe should have gone somewhere else, probably should have gone DBs, but I feel it's a bit broader than that. Plan your Azure Cosmos DB deployment with confidence. The Azure Cosmos DB cost estimator is now in public preview, giving you a fast, accurate way to model throughput, storage, regions, and capacity mode before you provision a single account, which is really cool. So go and check that out.
So, and what do you think would be the top 3 news from the top of your head that you?
Oh, goodness me. That's a great question. I did say that I probably know by the end. I'm not sure if I do. I think the key ones were, I think that's quite cool if you're in Cosmos, but not everyone's in Cosmos, so that's not a massive one. I quite like the Google Spot one. I think that's really cool. I think this one's not that different. There was one that you did that was really interesting. Obviously the 9Gs. That's in. We always love it when something new comes out. That's the first of those generation we've heard of. So that'd be my number 2. And what would my last one be? Oh my goodness, we did so many. It's easier on months where we don't have as many pieces of news.
Yes.
I don't know, what would yours be?
Oh yeah, so I can. I've had some. I was having some thoughts while doing that. The 3 I have are more FinOpsy. So the first one is how now you have intelligent agents inside. Cost Explorer. Yeah. I think that's quite interesting if it works correctly, and I can just set all the parameters, save them, and then ask every month, create me content for my engineering team or for my finance team, etc.
Our initial play looks good, by the way. Internally. Our initial play in the preview looks okay.
Okay.
We haven't tried to do anything particularly complicated, but for the few kind of cases that we put in, just to test it, we switched them back off. But yeah, it did what we expected it to.
Excellent. The other thing for me, huge, is the AWS State of Cost Efficiency report. I was always wanting to have stats that would allow us to measure against others, but the only real owners of data in this case are the cloud vendors, so that's massive. And we finally have FinOps used all over the place. So having a FinOps agent is quite cool. I don't know how effective it is yet, but I love the idea that FinOps is becoming more standard even inside the cloud vendors. And that's it for me. Thank you, listeners.
Thank you, listeners. There's so much news to go through there.
Yes.
So well done for sticking with us, everybody. Apologies for the small interruption. My son is very excited to go camping. He wanted to show me that he'd zipped up his suitcase, which is big news, and carried him up the stairs because I'm on the top floor. It's real effort there. He was quite crestfallen. I said, I really need to go. But there we go. Thank you, Frank. Thank you, listeners. And we'll get this one out hopefully today.
Yes, I will do my best.
Yes. Well, let's hope the media board sends this time. That's what delayed us last time, wasn't it? I won't be able to do it from camping. Right. Well, goodbye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.